play with it, but basically it's got ChatGPT built right into the browser. Now that may not mean a lot, may not impact you that much, but what it is a gateway to eventually being able to ask your computer to do stuff on your behalf, which could be things like, hey, I just met, John Doe for at the coffee shop, and I'd like to start a drip campaign for them. And it will then start to put it into your CRM.
Right.
And it will start to do things on your behalf. And so you're going to basically be able to skip a whole bunch of the learning steps that right now, if you think about where we were 2 or 3 months ago, you had to prompt a lot more. Now you can, the AIs are getting better and better, where one prompt and you can start to actually get real work done. And this is in all the models, ChatGPT, Claude, those types of things. Yesterday here at eXpCON, I did a session on AI and building an app. And somebody threw out an idea, which was, I want to be able to take an inspection report. I want to be able to upload it, and I want to find out what the costs are to repair a property to bring it up to based on the inspection. And I was like, well, could you have asked me to build something, easier?
Sure.
Anyway, in 30 minutes later,
yeah,
8 prompts in Lovable, we had a platform built that would read a inspection report from any place in the country. It would actually take that inspection report, break it down to its component parts, wrote down the prices of each of them, and gave a total cost of what it would take to do the inspection repairs to bring the property back up to where the inspector would have been happy.
And here I was thinking that I was real cute, just taking a report and dropping it into just a mainline chat and saying, help me make an email to the other agent about the repairs or the credits that need to be done. That just changes the whole game, the whole dynamic, because it can be optimized for different markets and different regions and different areas, right? So, if I'm sitting over in Syracuse, New York, and you're sitting in, Washington State, right? The cost for some of these services, generally speaking, the cost of lumber is generally the cost of lumber, but the cost of labor may be different. Some of the materials may be harder to source, right? That could fundamentally change how any of these agents are having informed conversations, especially in a negotiation on behalf of their client.
Right. Yeah. Because, they're, going through and getting bids on all this stuff. It takes a while.
Yeah.
And AI has a pretty good understanding of a lot of things. And so it can come up with, what does it take to fix the driveway of some concrete cracks? Well, It's seen a lot of data. It kind of knows.
Yeah.
And so it can say, well, it's going to generally cost around this to fix that.
Especially in your area. We're catching up with the founder of eXp Realty, Mr. Glenn Sanford, here on KGCI Real Estate on Air. We are in the final day from the Miami Beach Convention Center for eXpCON. Where are we in the development of AI? I hear from a lot of agents, especially as I'm just kind of milling around, they seem disheartened about AI. They're discouraged on it. They feel like they haven't gotten started yet, and so they must have missed the boat. Where are we in AI's development, like related to content streaming? Are we still in the music Napster era? Or are we even at Napster? Are we at dial-up?
So the interesting thing about AI is that if you go back to ChatGPT, 2023, 2024, and you look at 3.5, so that was kind of like, oh, this is kind of novel. It'll compose me some tweets. It'll write me a little essay, whatever. Give me a poem. Then we went 4.0. And then it's like, oh, this actually starts to become a bit of a thought partner. And now we're at GPT-5, and it's a bit of a beast, meaning it can do a lot. And but each time the model is improved, it's shortened the time for the next new person to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
Because the ability for somebody to say, I need a inspection app to be able to read an inspection and give me the costs. Like, you know, like if I would have tried to do that a year and a half ago, it would have taken me a ton of prompts, probably wouldn't even worked.
Right.
And now I can just do it. And so within a fairly short period of time, let's say it's the next 6 months, you'll be able to say to an AI, build me a real estate CRM attached to a real estate website for my community that captures leads, and then for grins and giggles, I'm going to ask you, AI, what else should we build?
Right.
And the AI is going to say, well, you should add an events calendar, and you should do this because I think it'll increase engagement. And we should, add a social component, and where we tie it into your social component. And you'll go, that sounds good, and it'll do, because it'll be agentic. It will go and connect to your social media, connect to your things, and it'll start to kind of operate as you. And again, people might be disheartened because they're not super techie, which is sort of that bleeding edge.
Yeah.
But within a few months, 6 months or so, you're not going to need any tech.
Right. So for the agents that maybe they tried to hop on ChatGPT back in 3.0, 3.5 era, and they had a hard time with it, what I hear you saying is let not their heart be troubled, because it's gotten actually not harder, but it's gotten simpler.
It's got more intelligent. Now, I say that we actually put the intelligence in AI.
Right.
So it's artificial intelligence. We actually can sort of ferret out what's good information, what's good feedback, what from a brainstorming partner perspective, what's good, whatever. But it learns from more and more people saying that's good, that's bad, that's good, that's bad, and so it kind of figures out what's a better user outcome each time somebody prompts it. So even though you may not have got a great response 6 months ago or a year ago,
Mm-hmm.
and you might have said, this is frustrating,
Right.
AI is dumb as a doorknob, which, by the way, AI is still dumb as a doorknob.
It is. Yes. It surprises me when I spar with it. I'm like, oh, great. And then I turn around, I try it again. And then it's like, no, you're not following
Well,
along.
it will agree with you. It'll tell you every idea you have is a good idea.
Yes. Yeah. That's the worst. That's the worst part of it. I always have to tell my little my custom GPTs, I need you to dissent very hard, and they go, and
Right.
It does it right. It becomes the devil's advocate. But every now and again, it's like, well, what if I had a good idea? But we're catching up with Glenn Sanford, the founder of eXp Realty. Here, we're talking about AI. We're talking about the future of its integration into the future of real estate. Here from the Miami Beach Convention Center on KGCI Real Estate on Air. And let me know if I don't want to blow your ears out on those, because those can get a little loud. That one right there, sir. You've built one of the most scalable real estate platforms on the planet. How is AI now helping you scale this whole thing smarter, not just faster?
Yeah, well, the reality is that there's a lot of things around eXp that used to take a lot of developers, and developers cost a lot of money. I mean, they're 125, 150, 200,000 a year. A good developer, 250, 300,000 a year. And they only have so much capacity to build in the traditional sense. And so, even if you got 100 people, you think about 100 people times, say $200,000 a year, what is that?
That's a big overhead.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
Right.
So, so now, like one of our big pain points was our community. We lost Workplace by Meta.
Mm-hmm.
We went over to Slack. I was suspect of Slack, but I wanted to give it the support it deserved as a new platform that we were using a year ago, like coming up 6 months ago or so.
Mm-hmm.
But it turned out it that it doesn't match up with the persona of real estate agents. It's fine for staff and developers, but it's not good for community.
That resonates because, you know, as an agent, right? There was when work as an eXp Realty agent, when Workplace went away, there was this information that I could get out of Workplace. I could check it at will. If I ever had a question about a key announcement, I knew exactly where to go. There was these networks and groups, and as that went away, right, Slack was a brilliant tool for me to communicate with state broker leaders. It was a great tool for me to communicate with other eXp Realty agents, to communicate with the eXp Realty staff. But that community component, I didn't know how much I wanted it and liked it until it wasn't there.
Right. Yeah. And a lot of times that's the way it is. You don't actually know how much something is important until it's taken away.
Yeah.
And so over the last month, I built, using AI, a replacement for Workplace.
Okay. Tell me all about this.
So it's hub.exprealty.com.
Wonderful.
And in it, it has groups, it has posts. You can follow people, you can follow groups, you can join groups. You can basically see what's going on around the world. We even have the eXpCON 2025 group already. It's got, it's actually got like 600 or 700 members in it just from people attending. And people are posting and people are following it, and people are like, we found our home again. I did it without looking at a single line of code. AI built the whole thing.
All right.
So, and I did it as a bit of an experiment to see if I could do it. One, but two, we needed it.
Yes.
And I figured if I could build it, then a bunch of people that would say, well, you can't build with that with the AI. I can go, well, I built that.
There you go. And a little birdie tells me there is a beautiful plugin for KGCI Real Estate on Air built right into it. So agents that are diving into it can stream this station right there, and they don't have to go to a separate website. Don't have to go to a separate app. It's all right there too.
My guess is that your listenership on KGCI is going to go up exponentially.
That's my hope. That's the dream. Glenn Sanford, founder of eXp Realty. Thanks for popping by to KGCI Real Estate on Air. I have one more question for you, just to kind of set the minds at ease of eXp Realty agents across the nation, right? You are a thought leader in this industry. Agents outside eXp Realty, they look to you. Some agents nervous that AI is going to replace them. What's your take on that?
No, well, AI is not going to replace them. The way I think about it is that human beings are looking for experiences. I mean, they're looking for homes. They want the homes to create a certain sort of ambiance, and they're always looking for the next experience. And so there's always going to be a market for people who are creating experiences. And AI can create novel sort of things that can show up, but they're not human experiences. And so I don't actually feel like we're going to be in this mode where jobs are going to go away. Now, for those who don't choose to adapt, they will be impacted a lot, because they will not be able to create the experiences for their customer, for other agents, for people that they're engaged with. They're going to be, to some extent, dependent on what other people bring to them. They become the consumer. So it kind of goes back to the concept of what's the product of Facebook? Is Facebook the product, or are the people using Facebook the product?
The users are the product always.
The users are the product. And what AI gives us is the ability to create something that becomes a product that we can sort of take to the marketplace. So my little app that I built yesterday to take an inspection, like, you can spit those out very quickly with a few prompts. So you have to think, what does your customer need? What doesn't exist in place right now for them at this very moment that I could add value to them? And then you can prompt it out and deliver it during your listing presentation, online, via your website, what have you. And so it's the person who continually builds and continually creates new experiences that will be employed. Those who don't will be basically pitching products and services that were built 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago as if they're cutting edge, and they won't be, because the next agent they're competing with just created a very bespoke experience for the consumer that they're going on competing for a listing appointment for.
So the mindset shift here for agents is, it's not so much this is something they can't engage with and they need to be afraid of. It's how can they work with it to help them meet their customers and clients' needs. It seems pretty straightforward, but an embracing of this is going to probably be a whole heck of a lot better for their business in 2026 and beyond than fearful avoidance.
Yeah, well, you can't, if you avoid it, you will be out of business. That, I mean, I can't say it any.
It's plain and simple.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, what AI won't do is, if you're a big door knocker, AI is not going to go knock on doors for you.
No, it won't.
And chances are is it will be illegal. I think it is basically illegal for AI to cold call on your behalf. So there are a few things that have to be done, as a human being. So if you're a door knocker, you got a great persona, people like you, you're gonna still be in business. But if you're kind of geeky like me and you don't really like knocking on doors, AI gives me huge advantages because I can market to the masses.
Right. That is some incredible insights. Glenn Sanford, the founder of eXp Realty. Thank you for this reassuring conversation about the future of AI in real estate right here on KGCI Real Estate on Air. Appreciate you so much.
Awesome. Thanks, Ian.
I know that feeling when you hear the word AI and it feels like the boat's already left the dock, or even worse, a boat is coming to run you down. But after I sat down with eXp founder Glenn Sanford at eXpCON in Miami a few months back, the message to me was crystal clear that AI is not a replacement. The agent that is using AI is. And the thought partner of it all, like, we need to stop thinking of these tools as search engines and start thinking of them as our partners in thought, right? Glenn proved that recently by building this custom inspection app in 30 minutes as part of a breakout session without writing a single line of code. And if the founder of a global company can use these tools to solve very small friction points, we ought to be able to use that same thing too in our business. Because here's the truth of it all. The truth is, and this should set our minds at ease, AI cannot create a human experience, right? It can't walk a first-time buyer through the nerves of a closing, and it can't knock on a door and build genuine trust. And what it can do, though, for us is remove some of the busy work so that we can be more human more often. And if I was to try to break this down into my top takeaways from that conversation with Glenn Sanford that we had at eXpCON in Miami, it would be this. At number one, stop fearing the prompt. Talk to AI like you would your peer, like you would your partner. Just chat with it, right? Number two, start small. Use it to analyze a report, draft an email, and watch that time start to come back to you. And at number three, don't worry about this tech gap, okay? Yeah, that might have been a thing not that long ago, but these tools are getting simpler. They're not getting harder. And the future of real estate belongs to the creative agent, the one who's using technology to scale their emotional intelligence. And if you want to hear that full conversation about how AI is leveling the playing field, you know where to go. Head on over to Apple Podcasts, search KGCI Real Estate on Air, download that Glenn Sanford interview, and don't just survive the shift. I want you to thrive in it. I want you to own it. Now, it's time to have some fun. It's time for Real Estate Confessions. Message us on Facebook and Instagram, your story from the field, because without your participation here, this segment would not be possible. And because of that, we got to get one thing straight.
Real Estate Confessions features stories from the wild world of real estate. Names and details may have been changed to protect the innocent, and occasionally the not-so-innocent. All confessions are shared in good humor and do not reflect the opinions of KGCI Real Estate on Air, its hosts, or affiliates. No agent's licenses were harmed in the making of this segment. Enjoy responsibly.
All right, let's consider this the winter and holiday edition of Real Estate Confessions, because in real estate, truth is stranger than fiction.
I showed a house in a total whiteout. The front steps were basically an ice rink. I lose my footing at the very top. And as I'm going down, I somehow scoop up my buyer right onto my lap. We literally slid down all 12 steps like a human sled and landed right in the middle of the driveway.
Hosting an open house at a vacant listing today. Pro tip, check if the water is actually on. A 5-year-old decided he couldn't wait and used the master bathroom. Let's just say he left behind something a buffalo would be proud of in a non-working toilet. I had to literally go to the neighbor's house, borrow a bucket of water, and manually flush it away. This job is 90% glamour, I swear.
I was showing a house that has one of those massive 20-foot inflatable Santas in the front yard. Well, the wind picks up, the stakes rip out of the ground, and this giant nylon Saint Nick face plants right over the front door just as we're trying to leave. We were pinned. My buyers and I were literally trapped in the entryway by a deflating Santa Claus for 10 minutes. I had to crawl out a side window, trek through 2 feet of snow in my professional flats, and wrestle a giant motorized North Pole resident, just so my clients could get to their car. Merry Christmas to me. I'm going home, and I'm not coming out until 2026.
Yeah, those were some wild real estate confessions. Whiteout sledding, winterized home hijinks, and something out of a B-list holiday horror flick. If you missed any part of today's show, or you want to share Glenn's AI strategy with your team, every segment archived, ready for you to grab it right now at realestateonair.fm or on that always free Real Estate On Air mobile app for iPhone and Android. Also, just search KGCI and Apple Podcast, subscribe, and keep your momentum going through the new year. I'm Ian Wheatley. Stay safe, stay calculated, and we'll see you on the air. Happy holidays.